Quick testimony. When I was 5 years old, I watched my dad shoot my mom in the head right in front of me. She fell to the ground, blood poured out everywhere, dead right in front of my eyes. And instantly I picked up this bag and I put anger, I put loss, I put confusion, I put a lot of things in that bag, and I started walking. My dad went to jail, but he only got 5 years for manslaughter. He said it was an accident, but me and my grandma, which is my mom's mom, and our whole family knew that he was gonna do that, and that it was on purpose. My grandma took custody of us, and just 2 years later, my grandpa started coming around, and I took to him. I was looking for a father figure. And my grandpa started spoiling me, and I have 2 sisters and a brother, so he couldn't spoil all of us, but he spoiled me and gave me anything I wanted, and he also started touching me and molesting me at 7 years old. This went on for years. Yes, the grandpa on my dad's side, of course. This went on for years. I never told anyone about it, and in that baggage, I put more anger, confusion, shame, guilt. I was just a lost kid. By the time I was 10 years old, I was already fighting in school. As soon as I became a teenager, I started going to jail, stealing, robbing people, doing everything. I was a follower, and I put more confusion, more guilt, more shame, being a follower, slowly becoming an addict into that baggage, and I just kept walking. Spent almost 4 years of my juvenile life in jail, and then as soon as I turned 18, I got the hell out of where I'm from, Dayton, Ohio, and I moved to Florida. I was running. As soon as I got to Florida, though, I changed a couple things. I stopped committing crimes, and I started working to provide for myself and tried to mature and grow up. And I actually did. I started paying my own bills and living on my own at 18 years old, feeling good about myself. But there was something else I started doing. I started drinking every day after work and just felt like this is what adults, this is what men do. As long as I'm providing for myself and my girlfriend at the time, I'm allowed to do whatever I want. And I just kept on drinking every day till I passed out. A couple years later, me and my girlfriend at the time, we started having kids, and the drinking continued until the drinking took over, and I realized I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. So then I started trying, and I spent years, 5 years, in and out of rehabs. My marriage fell apart. We got divorced. I moved to Florida, told her to take the kids and move to Texas where she had family. And I went back to Florida and tried to end my life pretty much. I went harder than I've ever went, running the streets, doing drugs, selling drugs. I was in some very shady places, and I ended up getting jumped and robbed. My jaw broke in 4 different places, wired shut. I woke up in the hospital, and I also had pancreatitis from drinking so much. That was an issue. I had pancreatitis a lot of times. And in that hospital, I had what I call a spiritual awakening. I realized I'm about to end my life. I've lost everyone and everything. I don't even want to be alive no more. What is it? Why am I doing this to myself? And in that hospital bed, I had my spiritual awakening, and I accepted Jesus into my life. When I left that hospital, I called a rehab out in Texas, in Dallas, Texas. Salvation Army, and I told my kid's mom that I'm going there and I'm going to get it right this time. I'm going to stay the whole time. It was a 6-month program, and it's going to work. She had already moved on, was with another man, and they were living together, and they ended up getting married, and I moved out here to Texas where I am now. Now, it's been 8 years since I moved here to Texas, and I'm still sober. Over 8 years sober. I started my own business. I worked for myself. I got in the best shape I've ever been. I'm healthier than I've ever been. And the main thing is I got my kids back. They came back and lived with me, and I helped raise them. 2 of them are young adults now and living on their own. I got a grandchild, and I got my 1 son left living with me, my 15-year-old. Life is beautiful. Me and my ex-wife, my kid's mother, we co-parent. We get along as good as we can. I'm still as close as I've ever been with Jesus and getting closer every day, and life is beautiful. All right, so if this can happen to someone like me, where my life started off really rough, things happened that was out of my control, and I just became lost. I didn't know what life was even about. I didn't know what love was. Life was just chaotic from the start, and I made it a little bit worse until I realized things can get better, but I have to surrender to someone else other than me, because I don't know what I'm doing. I am about to end my life if I keep trying to be in charge. So I surrender to God every single morning now. I started going to AA meetings. I don't anymore, but I still work my own program and just different things. And I'm here to tell you right now that if you're out there, you're struggling too. If all of these things can happen to me in my life, and I could go from living the kind of life I did when I was growing up and just lost, becoming a follower, running the streets and getting in trouble. Now I'm in juvenile jails. I go there willingly to talk to kids, to try to help get them on the right path. And that is my passion. That's what brings me joy, is helping people. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. This is real life, a real story. And I hope that it reaches the right people to give you encouragement and hope that you still can make it. Please surrender your life to God and stop trying to control everything on your own. You're in the place you're at in life because you got yourself there. Even though other people might have played a part in getting you there too, you've made the choices just like I did. But we can also make a new choice to go on a different path and let God lead the way every day. I pray that for you today, all right? I love y'all out there, all right? Bless up.